Derp derp diddy derp. Derp derp diddy derp derp. Derp derp diddy derp. Derp derp derp.
Hello again, I'm your host, That Signature Guy, and I'm here to show everyone a low-cost way to ship comics with safety. To start with, I like to use new boxes from USPS. You can actually order them direct to your door for free. I'll go ahead and put up a picture from the site along with a link in the description below so you can order them if you like. Now, I prefer to use the Priority Mail Medium Flat Rate Box number 2 because it allows for extra room if you want to ship Golden Age or magazine-sized comics. From there, I decide which cardboard I need. I prefer to use one board size bigger than the comic that I'm shipping. This allows for extra room for the size of the bag and board, along with helping cover the corners completely. When cutting your boards, try not to go deep or use something in between so you don't cut all the way through to the other side. The way the boxes are folded, one of the boards may end up cutting off a part that's pre-bent. You don't want this because it lowers the integrity of the board that you're cutting out, which leads me to my next be careful situation when you're removing the boards after cutting. Be gentle. If you bend them, you will lower the integrity of the board as well, and we're all here for one reason, to ship with protection. Now that we have our cardboard cut out, we can move on to taping the books down. But before we do though, I want to bring up what I previously mentioned about using a divider inside the box while cutting. The first board I used here is overlapped on one end, and it makes it a bit thicker on one side. This is a result of me not using a divider while I was cutting the boards out. Now, because of this, I ended up cutting a portion off of a corner. I took a look at it though, and the height difference wasn't even 1/8 of an inch in difference, so I felt it was flush enough to not cause damage to the book. Now, I don't recommend using a board cut this way, but sometimes you may find yourself, short on materials and need to use one in a pinch. If this happens, just do your best to make sure the board is solid or that it's reinforced more while keeping the book flat. Now, once you've cut an adequate amount of boards for the package, you get started on taping the books down to the boards, using one piece on each corner. Now, I prefer not to put tape down on the spine just to prevent any kind of damage due to pressure from taping it around the board. One last thing before we move on to part 3 is that I prefer to use masking tape or painter's tape. These types of tapes are perfect for buyers when they're removing the item because it's not only easier to see the tape, but it makes for easier removal. Now, this is due to the lack of abrasiveness in their adhesion methods, meaning it's less likely to rip or damage a bag when removing the tape. This part is just like taping the boards to the books, just with an additional board in between. Also, you can apply tape to the side containing the spine of the book now that it's protected by the top board. For every 2 books, you'll want one board in between them to help prevent spine roll. Once you've chosen your book to tape the board on the front of, go ahead and tape it once on each corner, including the spine. When you have the book you want covered on both sides, tape it down to the front of a book without a cardboard piece on top, kind of like layering a sandwich. In this part, I'm making what I call reinforcer boards. I like to use them when I can for a little bit of extra durability. Now, they're real quick and easy to make. Just go ahead and cut out a couple more backer boards as before. Modern age size will work fine. After you have them cut out, take a razor and cut a line lengthwise down the middle. Make sure to only go deep enough to penetrate the top of the cardboard. You're going to create a bend point to fold them with. From there, bend them and tape the open end shut, and you'll be ready to tape them to the rest of your package. This part is pretty quick, since you don't need to tape four corners like with the other boards. Place and center the board on one side of your taped up package and tape it down on the top and bottom. Once done, flip the package and do the same on the other side. From here, I prefer to use a Tyvek bag to wrap the package in, which will help prevent waterlogging just in case the package isn't handled with care. Now, once inside the bag, I tape the sealable flap down, fold the excess around the package snug, and tape it down flush. Once I'm sure the packing is secure, I use the flat rate envelope to finish it off. Here we are at the final part of the packing before we take it down to the post office, taping the package up. Now, normally, people will feel comfortable with just using the mailer in itself, but I like to add a little extra durability to a couple of spots. Before we start, I want to note that I prefer to use packaging tape. I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but there are some strange packing techniques out there. First, I want to section off the area on the package containing the pull tab for easy opening. I want to tape above and below this line, but not directly over it. Usually putting tape directly over it makes it unable to be used in its normally designed fashion. After taping around the package above and below this line, I tape down the pull tab itself to prevent accidental opening, but only use enough so that it can be cut free when the time comes. From there, I like to shore up all the bend points and corners on the package to help it take bumps a little better. I recommend to do this on at least the corners, but I prefer to take it one step beyond in the case of certain books. Once you get the corners and the bends covered with tape, go ahead, double check, make sure it looks good, either print a label and leave it with your mail person, or go ahead down to your post office and send it out. And I want to wish all you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and I want to thank all you guys who tuned in to watch this. This is only my second episode, but I've got a lot more coming and a lot more planned in the future. I hope everyone has a safely packed holiday, and I'm going to catch you guys next time here on eBay Mail Day.